you guys are up to all kinds of interesting things. We know because we're partners.
Yep.
I'm curious what's most exciting to you right now.
So Claritas is going through a bit of a evolution. We have acquired a couple of companies over the last couple of years. AI has been the buzzword now for the last 2 years. It continues to be a buzzword. We're trying to remove the buzz from that and having it as part of our clients' actual ad tech stack. So what we're trying to do is move beyond this idea of having fun little AI pilots that are, how do you use AI, to how do you really leverage AI as part of our clients' always-on infrastructure. So that's where our evolution is moving. Claritas forever has been an attribution and measurement company. We have an identity graph that essentially allows us to communicate with the entire United States population. What we didn't have was the optimization part. And so when we acquired Arts AI in the fall of 23, that really gave us the full solution. So now we can work with clients on data and audiences. We can work on what's working, what's not from a measurement and attribution perspective. And now we can optimize the creative and media in market to get our clients better performance. So that's really what we're working on now, is how do we evolve from small little pilots into real technology.
Fantastic. 2024 was really the era of pilots, and it seems like the year ahead is going to be all about building scale. What are the types of customer problems that you're hearing about and that you're working on today?
Look, it's a competitive landscape for vendors, for technology partners, for brands. At the end of the day, it's all about getting performance for our clients. Clients come to us with the intention of, how do we get a better return on ad spend? How do we get higher conversion rate? How do we get a lower cost per order? And so those are the problems that we actually like to hear from our clients, because that's where our technology will help out. So where clients come in and say, we are looking to get better with our media campaigns and our marketing campaigns, that's perfect for us because we have the technology to help them. So that's really what the main, most of our conversations with clients are around, is how do we help you get better performance using various parts of our technology stack to get you to that point.
And you guys are doing some very clever stuff around that's helping businesses get closer to their customer.
Yeah.
And you have there's a product called Persona. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
What we have is essentially an identity graph that allows us to communicate with the entire United States population. That identity graph is broke out into essentially 68 different prism segments. And now those prism segments, what we've essentially done is brought them to life. So what they were previously was a piece of paper or a piece of cardboard, or is in a book that said, this is the individual, this is their demographic, this is their location, this is the things they like. Well, with the help of Monks, we've essentially brought that persona to life. So when a client leverages our technology, we can identify that they are in this persona group, and then you can have conversations with them. So we can actually, everyone in this room, we could essentially identify you as a different group or different persona group, and then communicate with them in our technology to say, what is it that you like? What is it you don't like? What can we do better in the next campaign? And be able to actually bring that back to our clients. So it's essentially a real-time virtual focus group without having to have a focus group in that sense.
And how's that working out? Do the numbers support the accuracy?
Yeah, so we are seeing really, really interesting learning. So we've had clients that have literally leveraged the exact personas as part of their media buy, and we're seeing very, very close matching from a proximity perspective, that they are very much the audiences that they are buying, and those are the people that are responding well to their products. Now, on top of that, what we're also finding there are some incremental people that weren't initially identified to say, hey, why don't we go after and communicate to those people? And then we were also talking to people that weren't in the group that maybe we shouldn't have been talking to. So we're finding people on the fringe that we either say, maybe you weren't great for this product. We're finding people on the fringe that maybe you should be included as part of the audience set. So it is working. It's a new way of thinking about audiences. It's a new way of thinking about activation of media. So part of our problem and our challenge, which is why we're here today, is to let brands and clients know that it's a very easy, accessible technology. You don't really have to do anything to access it. Just allow us to run our tags on your media program. How we work together I think about the two, your agency, our technology stack. And so what we really are able to do is allowing AI to make a decision in real time as to what content and what ad is best for that individual impression. So obviously we need content and we need media. So we are not trying to be a creative agency. We're not trying to be a media agency. We need to partner with a media and creative agency. That's why Monks is a great partner in this. What our technology does is essentially removes all of the headaches that a traditional DCO platform brings. So the idea of a decision tree, setting up the if-then logic, changing ad servers, managing all that creative development from an individual node perspective, all that goes away. It's a very archaic way of thinking about how to run a media program. So what we are able to do is say, let AI do what AI is best at, which is making very, very rapid real-time decisions based on data. So we remove human subjectivity. We just need content. We just need media. So that's where you guys come in.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And I think, one of the things that we've seen with the Persona product is that it really does provide higher performing insights to creatives and strategists such that they can do better decision making. And when you think about what happens in a typical focus group, it can be totally dependent on whether or not it's 3:00 on a Friday afternoon and the focus group is hangry. You want to get rid of bias like that, and large data sets can help enable that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on a variety of discussions too recently, at least in the last year, about inclusivity and media and inclusivity in creative. And what's interesting is that the idea of inclusivity is like A/B testing. I'm like, how could that possibly be inclusive? Like, what we need is a creative stack that essentially says, let's represent as many individuals as we can and allow the AI to say what creative and content is best for each impression. So that way we can be relative to each individual that we're talking to. So we're trying to move away from this idea that there is a singular creative and a singular piece of content that's best for everyone. That's an insane way of thinking. What we really should do is how do we make sure that everyone that we are talking to, communicating with in your marketing and media program gets content that's relative to them, that makes them feel like they're part of your brand and part of your product.
The goal of all of the work that we're doing today is about really collapsing the distance between the business and the customer, and to provide more people within the organization access to a better understanding of their customers so that they can create content that's relevant and timely and the right variance, not just content volume.
Yeah, and we need to get out of the subjective thinking too. Like so many times, we'll be working with a client and it's, I think this is what works, or we think that this is what works. And at the end of the day, the data is not going to lie. And what Persona.Flow is able to do is give us actual data on what is working, what isn't, and what you can do to improve the next time. And it takes that subjectivity out and, again, allows us as a collective marketing organization to produce better content at the end of the day for the prospects and consumers.